What's going on, everyone? This is Lo-Fi Nole, and we're pretty much just going to be talking about the dev stream that have dropped today. Okay, I was sadly at work. Okay, your boy had to work.
Oh, boo-hoo. Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
I was only able to watch like a little bit here and there, and I only got like bits and pieces on it. So I wanted to still get my general thoughts on it, as well as show you the most and highlighted and important things that are coming, which is dropping. Okay, I'm pretty sure it is coming out. Okay, March 18th or 19th. So plug it in your calendars. Okay, if you don't know, okay, plug in the calendar, March 18th or March 19th. Pretty sure it's 18th. Okay, when that drops, when we get the new liches, we get all these new updates. So be there for it. These are the new proto frames. All right, so I kind of saw this. Everyone was like losing their minds, but okay, hold on. We just got to see it. We just got to see it.
The proto frames. Enjoy.
Some safe house.
Bro, she bad though.
Are we going in or not?
That's my. I gotta get Nova. I gotta get Nova. I got to get Nova and Frost. Okay, Saren. Okay, she bad. She bad, but not too much big of a Saren player. Even though my freaking year has her in it, but still, oh my god, definitely picking up that Nova and that Frost.
Let me do the talking.
And then the rock star. So as you guys saw, we're getting those proto frames. So pretty much that was Frost, that was Nova, then that was Siren, and then also the new Warframe that is coming out. He's like the guitar Warframe. So they all look good, bro. I look. I enjoyed it. I like how all of them look, especially freaking Nova. I love how she looks. I know some people wanted different Warframes and all that, but ultimately I like it. I'm not complaining. If I didn't get Nova, it will be okay. If I didn't get Frost, it will be okay. I'm not even a Saren player, so I'm not really hating on that. So they did pretty good on these. Okay, I like it. And then of course the new Warframe, I got to see how his abilities work. I did get to see it a little bit, but that didn't too much like get to watch all of it. Okay, and I also want to talk about this as well. If you did not like the proto frames that they have, or they didn't do what you thought was the best character to do, ultimately it's just cosmetics. At the end of the day, they don't change anything. They don't make you stronger. They don't give you incarnate weapons. At the end of the day, it's cosmetic. It's just how you look in the game. And that's really it. Ultimately, we're just gonna have to wait. Me personally, again, I'm a big fan of Nova Prime. I like Nova. I play Nova. Nova is one of my favorite ones to play outside of freaking Korra. Ultimately, I'm happy. I like Frost Prime as well. You know, I didn't get his like exclusive skin with his floating thing above his head or whatever. But I mean, ever since I made the video on Frost that's on my YouTube, and then also started to play him more and more when I'm not making videos, I genuinely like Frost. So I'm happy because there's two characters that I particularly like to play, which is Nova and Frost. But I mean, if they didn't do Nova and they didn't do Frost, I wouldn't have really thrown no shade at it. And ultimately, the characters still look good. So I mean, whether you like characters or not, it also makes you want to play the characters, try them out, and just see if you like them or not.
Cannot romance them, and let me explain why.
I'm not complaining. I still got Letty. Letty's my favorite. Okay, Trinity Prime. Okay, only Trinity Prime people. Okay, so I'm chilling. I'm not really stressing over that.
Temporal archimedea, deep archimedea, and one netrocell, or however you want to split the ratio out.
So basically, to sum all this up, archimedea, if you don't know what this is, if you go to the sanctuary, there's pretty much, if you talk to the robot, then you can do it, especially if you make sure to be rank 5 with them as well. It's pretty much like an upgraded version of netrocells. If you also went to the sanctuary area and then talk to the dog that's in there, and you did that before, pretty much that. I'm not too much big of a fan of this. I think it's a little bit challenging, but that's really because of the RNG and what you have to deal with. But other than that, you know, I'm excited for this. I do like the little sticker abilities that come with it, but ultimately it's just archimedea. It's nothing too fancy. 3 new arcanes. This one, arcane escapist. On mercy kills, gain a stack escapism up to 10x. Every 5 stacks grant a revive 2 seconds of invulnerability after fatal damage. And then, you know, rank 5, you pretty much get more seconds on invulnerability. I don't really care for the arcane. It's not really arcane that I see myself using, but Warframe 1999, I think they cooked pretty well with the arcanes that they have giving us before this one. So it's kind of hard to really top those. Then you got hot shot. This rank 5 gains 6% weapon critical chance for 10 seconds when using abilities to inflict key status on enemies, maximum 50 seconds. Now this can go on a lot of different warframes. I think out of all of these, or really the 3, then hotshot is really the best one. Put that on any fire warframe. So basically the new one, Ember, Protea with her augment. This right here is what I'm going to probably be trying out for my Protea. And then universal fallout. Each radiation status effects inflict an enemy gives a, I don't know what that is, a chance to drop a universal orb on an enemy's death. Kind of niche. I could probably throw this on Ninx. That's the only person I can think of at the moment. It's all right, but definitely hotshot is the best one out of all of them. So pretty much this is the new liches that is coming on March 19th, actually. Okay, so the day is 19th, not the 18th. So pretty much simple. If you're going to kill your lich, then you get all your stuff. If you convert it, then you can sell it off and then get plat for it and do what you want to do from there. The biggest thing I heard about this is instead of them taking like your resources, your items, your shards, everything, instead all it really takes is just your cosmetic stuff, so like your infirmer, so which is a W. You don't have to worry about your stuff being taken away, like your shards and stuff like that, which is like much more. So that's a plus. On top of that, with these liches as well, you're able to your choices on what type of element that you want on your gun, so that's also a plus instead of having to be randomized by which warframe you fight against it. And then this right here is pretty much all the 8 different infirmaries that comes from the Kuva liches. Me personally, the one that sticks out the most is going to be that heart one, the one right beside the heart, the tail, and then the little eye looking thing. I'm looking forward to that. So that's pretty much on the liches aspect of the game. Now let's talk about the guitar warframe. Me personally, I think straight. I mean, I like how he looks. His design is A1. Okay, for a person who doesn't really listen to rock that much and to see a warframe like him, he definitely got it down packed. Plus, that guitar does look pretty fire, I ain't gonna lie. Okay, in my head I thought he was gonna be more like Octavia in a way, where you could like make songs with the guitar, which I thought that would be pretty cool to do and stuff like that. His abilities ultimately doesn't really excite me other than his 3 maybe. Ultimately I don't really know what to really say until we just get our hands on the warframe, but he looks cool. And plus his prototype does look pretty cool, so I mean, hey, I like it, but I just don't really know how that really feels until, you know what I'm saying, until I play the warframe. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really got too much to say on it other than that, really. His 1 is cool. 1 throws up like a little flame. Second ability pretty much puts something on the enemy so you hit them for like more crit. Third ability pretty much is like save your tail type of ability. Then the 4th ability pretty much pops out the guitar, and then like as you're playing him, you pretty much have this meter that's swinging back and forth under it, whatever where your aim is at. And if you hit it in the right spot, then you get like bonuses, or you get better like strength or efficiency or stuff really attaining to him personally, which that's cool and all. But other than that, I don't really want to talk about it too much until I really get my hands on it and just play it. And then like if I like the character, I'll make a video on it. But that's generally how I feel about it. Now, a new mission that they have added is a defense mission, but it's a defense mission, but it also has disruption with it. So let me break it down. It's pretty much simple. The same concept is just like any other defense mission. And then, but on top of that, now we have a enemy that you will have to kill, make sure that he doesn't get near the guitar warframe. We get near it. Apparently he does some really messed up things that's not good for us. So I think you'll probably like die or you lose health or something along those lines. It's not a good idea. That's pretty much it. It's nothing really too special. It's not really new, but it's kind of newish. Oh, and I'll also like to add as well, this is where apparently you're going to get the guitar warframe currency in order to turn it into him. So then you can buy the warframe or buy his weapon, stuff like that, really. So if you do care about the guitar warframe, you're going to be doing this a lot.
So we actually have a dev blog which goes over all the tiny little specifics because there's a lot.
Guys, so exalted blade reworks. This right here is what I cared about. this right here, what I cared about. Okay, so for people who don't understand this, okay, basically before the changes come, certain warframes, aka melee warframe abilities, was exalted. What does that mean? Pretty much, we was never able to build into the warframe melee. Instead, what we had to do is use a stat stick. So aka you will take your melee, like a regular melee, and then you'll put mods on the melee, which then your exalted weapon will take the melee mods and then apply it to that exalted weapon. Okay, and then depending on what warframe you play, they play different roles. And then on top of that, when you have river mods, that also change the game of it. So like for me personally, I was like, I'm still a big core player. Okay, I always hit it. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So I always love playing core. So with core here, pretty much there was a cool way that you could like stack it up. Your melee combo, then on top of that, you know, if you had a river mod for it, then if you putting down like a lot of shards, basically your whip is slapping people left and right for like 1,000,000. Okay, it's just that damn. Okay, it's that stupid. Now they're changing all that. Okay, and instead we're gonna be getting a exalted weapon slotted on for their particular melee weapon. So in this case, Cora, for instance, will now have her whip that you can mod into, put arcanes on, and anything case may be. The only thing that sucks about this now is that river mods are not able to apply to the melee weapon. And for a person who's been playing core for a really long time, I'm not really that upset about it, because ultimately, unless you was the type of person to make a stat stick build for every single melee you have built in the game, okay, then your melee focused warframes won't have this issue. If you're doing Deviri, any particular content that revolves around you having a RNG base of you may get this warframe, you may get this melee. Now, does it suck that my river mods that I have for some of my melee weapons does not apply anymore once the changes come in for core? Yeah, it does, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal. You're still gonna be able to pretty much overcrit and do dummy damage with her whip anyway, because the people who play core, the people who play Atlas, the people who play Gara, pretty much they're gonna go out their way to make the builds perfect to what they can work with. People are gonna go out their way to make sure that their build itself is gonna be strong, even without having to worry about a Riven mod. Okay, so I don't see no big deal with it. I'm glad that helps out like new players, because I'm gonna be real, there's a lot of stuff that I would still say to this day that Warframe does not explain to new players, and they don't know about exalted blades until like you tell them, or someone like me or some other YouTuber creator tells you about it. So this in the long run helps the overall community better. That way we can all be on the same page on one particular thing about how do we build certain things. That's really it, to sum it up with a bow. Plus, I think ultimately this will make strength more impactful on maybe some of your builds. We don't know how that's gonna go, and I'm gonna have to look into that for my core build itself. Do I need more strength? Do I need less strength because of the new changes for it? But ultimately, I see this as a positive. Okay, I don't really complain that much about it. Some other people may feel differently, but for me, as a core person who sat down and put like 4 different red shards, okay, then found out after playing core for a really long time that now everyone swapped over to purple shards, which just gives you double boosting for it. Now I have to turn around and eventually do that for it, but really not really. I don't have to do all that. I can still keep the red ones at the end of the day. It's not that big of a deal. Really, to me, it's not that big of a deal. I don't see the big issue with it. So it is what it is. I like the change. Now, if you're an Ashe player, I'm not really an Ashe player. I do own Ashe. I play him like a little bit. If I forget to throw on Titania for any stealth mission I do, you got a little slightly rework a little bit, got really changes and stuff. We got new Tenogen skins and also attachments. So if you care about that, then you'll buy them with real money. If you're not, then you're not gonna buy it. We got new Warframe augments for Wisp, Comey, Corvex, and Gara. Pretty much have it on the screen here, but ultimately I want to wait until I get my hands on them in the game. So I don't really see anything too crazy. Maybe Comey's, I think that's the biggest one I really want to try out. And maybe Gara. I like how she is now, even with no augment mods on it, but I may want to try this one out just to see how it works. But ultimately, nothing too crazy. This is the biggest thing that I will always be yapping about every single time I watch a live stream and I make a YouTube video out of it. Quality of life update. Okay, let me repeat myself. Quality of life updates. Why is that such a big deal, Nole? Well, quality of life updates to me always show and always make the game better. Let me say it again. Quality of life updates always make the game better. It makes the players come back. It makes new people get into it. And it also helps out the veterans to some regards, depending on what it is. So what is the quality of life changes that we're getting? The biggest one right now that we are getting is that people who have not did new war quests yet, you will be given a free necromet, or really like a loner, okay, to play through the mission, so you don't have to have a necromet. The reason why this is such a big thing is because necromets takes forever to build. Okay, if you don't understand how to do demos, or you don't have someone to walk you through it, or you're too lazy to figure out how to do it yourself, ultimately this takes a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to build. Okay, so with this being made, they wanted to say, hey, let's see if this works, and they're going to give you guys a loner necromancer. But back in my day, okay, I had to build my own. Okay, I just bought mine plat. I didn't really waste my time building that mug. That thing take too long. But anyway, okay, now new players have that. They also changed up some of the pathways that you will have to deal with whenever you're going through like your different planets for new players as well. So again, helping out like new players. The next big thing, I think that's a W for everyone, whether you're a veteran or a new person, is pretty much the prorated bundles. AKA what this means is if you buy something that's inside of a bundle, instead of you having to pay full price for the bundle, even though you bought something out of it, you're just going to get the discounted version from the bundle. That's ultimately a plus. It took a while. Okay, now that didn't make no sense. Okay, I do agree on that part. It took you that long, but ultimately still good that we finally got it. Capture improvements, so now we're able to do a little bit more. So like if you're a content creator, or you're a type of person who likes to make cool or really good fashion frame stuff, you'll generally like this. They're making changes to where now you can hide like your cat, your crew rows, or your dogs or whatever, and then like also your weapons to get that really cooler like snapshot that you're wanting on there. So that's amazing. Also, they're doing something with settings where we can pretty much control all the different sound effects or sounds that goes in the game. Like you can change the audio for the enemies, the allies, the pets, everything. So that's pretty cool. I think they got like a couple more they have not hit on, but ultimately they hit a lot. Okay, and the biggest thing that I think is also W is change the ancient protector as well. So instead of them like doing the dumb things that it normally does, so aka it gives like overguard to a lot of other people who are not an Xmas unit, and it just makes a overwhelming overguard spot where you can't really like CC anything in the game. They're toning that down, which that's pretty good as well. So that helps really, again, like veterans and new players as well. And then lastly, this is kind of like in between for veterans and new players, but ultimately it's not really a big deal to me, is that we're not able to rewatch some of the cinematics from the game, which that's a plus. So ultimately now we don't have to go watch a YouTube video in order to re-see something that already happened. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I could go over a little bit more, but ultimately I'm going to be talking about that once the Liches drop, and I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy. Like the comment, subscribe, hit the notification button so you can be more plugged in with the content. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one.